Welcome everyone to the Thursday Elite Training. Um, Today there are some updates on one of our favorite annuities, and the bonus is incredible. They upped the bonus. So initially, the bonus to start the annuity was 9%, and now it's going up to 17% depending on which state the client is residing. So it's incredible. It's double the bonus. So if a client puts in 100,000, they can get up to $17,000 of bonus or 15,000 bonus depending on which state. If they put in 1 million, it's 170,000 bonus or 150,000 bonus depending on what state they're in. So it's quite incredible, and I wanted to share that with you today. So the best is for you to go to the FNG's website directly because they will have the most updated information. So typically you'll go through the sales tools, carriers and products, and you click carriers, explore now. And then you can click on info on the FNG and it'll take you here. And then you can go ahead and click on agent login. And then once you're in this website, you click login and click financial and insurance professional. Go ahead and get logged in here. Okay. So it seems like it's logging in right now. And once we're in here, you can click on products and you will bring up all the different annuity products and you'll choose the state that you're in. And the client we're working with right now is in Hawaii. Okay. And product type, you can put fixed indexed annuity and it'll show all the options here. And the product that we're going to focus on today is the Performance Pro. So Performance Pro, and let me just go ahead and yeah. And forms and materials. And here we're going to go ahead and go to the Performance Pro, information and material type. There's a couple of things you can do. So if you wanted to look at like a consumer brochure, you can do that. If you wanted to do other material types such as at a glance. And so Performance Pro Consumer Brochure, when you click on this, and you can do a download of the form. And when you do that, it's going to show you the details of the Performance Pro annuity. It's going to go over the details. Okay. Now, one thing I wanted to share with you today is the bonus itself because it's a really good bonus right now, and a lot of the clients are willing to look at this because compared to what they have, this is just better. Let me just zoom in a little bit. So it's up to 17% bonus, and the focus is recouping market losses, secure a gain that they know upfront will be there in the future, and pass along a potentially larger death benefit. And why is that? Because you get a boost of up to 17% upfront. So if a client puts in 100 grand, how much is that? Especially in Hawaii, it's 17%. That will be 117,000. That already boosts it up right away. So even if the client passes away in a year before they gained anything other than the bonus, they will leave their family 17% more. $17,000 more in death benefit to the family just by itself without even gaining anything else other than the initial bonus that they get. And Also, it has a market downside protection. So if the market crashes, then the client's money is not going to lose any value. That's very important. And it has one of the lowest fee compared to any other annuities out there, especially, Athene and there's other companies out there. This one is only 10 basis points. 10 basis points means it's 0.10% fee. So it's tenth of a 1% of fee. We were looking at a client's current one with Athene, and he's paying about 0.85% fee versus our 0.10% fee. That's almost over 8 times fee compared to ours, and it has not been performing that well. So low fee, also with a guaranteed income, and that bonus upfront is very, very attractive to the clients. And I also have a bonus by state, and I'll drop this on the chat so you can look at this too. So the qualification, non-qualified, you can start it from age 0, and then you can have it start at age 80. That's the latest age. Qualified is from 18 to 80. And minimum premium on this is 10,000. And after their initial investment, they put in $10,000. That's the minimum. The client can put extra money in there, but it's not a monthly. You cannot put a monthly into this. The minimum that you need to put in is minimum $2,000 at a time. But if you diversify your annuity and you put it into 4 different investment options, you have to put $2,000 per investment. So if you have four, 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%, and you spread it through 4 different investment options, the client will have to put a minimum of $8,000 all at once to add more money into this. Okay. So it doesn't mean the client can put any more money. Instead of putting $500 a month into it, they just save it in their savings account until it's 8,000, and then they'll put it in there. If you chose an investment option that's only diversified by 2 different index, so let's just say S&P and the Morgan Stanley 50/50, then that's only 2 investment options, right? So then it's only 2,000 times 2. So your minimum contribution at a time will be 4,000 at a time. If you only chose one investment option, let's say you only chose Morgan Stanley, then you only have to put $2,000 at a time to add more into this. Okay. And take a look at this. If you're 75 or younger, which most of our clients will fit in this, maybe about 90% or more, uh, all states will get 17% except for these other states. So you see this other state, it says 1. On the left, it shows other states include California, Delaware, Florida, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Texas, and Utah. These states will give 75 or younger clients who roll over their money a 15% bonus instead of 17. Other states including Alaska, uh, Alabama, Connecticut, Indiana. So all these Idaho, Minnesota, Montana, all these other states will be under this other states too. So if they're 75 or younger, the clients will get a 13%. But any other states than these listed here will be getting a 17% for clients who are 75 or younger. And that is massive. So we're in the works to roll over $1 million annuity from existing 401k. The client worked as like a nurse or like a state facility, and it's like $1 million 401k at this point. And 17% bonus will mean that it's $170,000 bonus that it will add to the $1 million that the client initially rolls over. So who wouldn't want a bonus like that. And this is different, and I'm just going to be clarifying this. This is different from an income-based bonus. It's completely different. This actually gives a bonus that is added to the account, and client will later be able to take out. There are competitors who say, "Oh, we have a 30% bonus." It's too good to be true. So when you look into it, it's not the money that the client can all lump sum take out. It's come something called an income base, and we do offer that as well, but it's not a money that the client can just take out anytime, if that makes sense. So it's very important if it's actually bonus on the premium paid, you see that the amount that they roll over will be added into the annuity and it's going to show up in the annuity, but it's going to be vested over the 10-year period. Whereas the income-based ones, that means the client can only receive it as an income, but it's only based on the guaranteed lifetime income rider. So they'll receive it over the next 20, 30, 40 years. So it's not a money that they can lump sum take out on this annuity. So there's a big difference there. These are the different index interest crediting options available. So there's Balance Asset 5, Barclays, BlackRock, Gold Commodity, GS Global Factor, Morgan Stanley, S&P. Right now, the best performing one will be the Morgan Stanley. It's awesome. And the difference between 1 year versus the 2 year point to point is that 1 year point to point, when you start the client out with a policy, like an annuity policy, in 1 year on their anniversary, 1 year anniversary, they will get an interest depending on how it has performed over those 12-month period. The 2 year point to point, it does not give the client interest every year on their anniversary. It does every 2 year on their 2 year anniversary. So if they started now in February 26th of 2026, then they wouldn't get an interest until February 26th of 2028. Okay, so that's 2 years. Then there is a one that says charge. Same 2 year point to point, but one says charge. And charge means that client can opt in to pay a fee. And this fee that they pay, they'll get a bigger return in case the market does better. So they'll get a bigger multiplier. So pay 1%, 1.25% in fee, but they might get 5% extra. So they'll net 3.75% gain, more gain than if they would have not chosen this charge option. But to be honest with you, it's a really well-performing annuity anyway. So I don't necessarily recommend you to do a charge one because if the market didn't do so well, the client will still have to pay that fee regardless of how the market did. So the market didn't do anything, the client still has to pay that fee. So client will feel like, oh, I lost my money, but it's not due to the market risk because there's no market risk on this product. It will just be the fee that they're paying. So I like to give the client the least amount of fees because they don't wanna feel like I didn't gain anything and I'm losing money on my annuity. Okay. So this is the Morgan Stanley is the best performing. The S&P 500, I would say the 1 year point to point is a pretty good one. So you can diversify between like Morgan Stanley and S&P. If you want to add one more, Balance Asset 5 Index, this one is decent. It's not been performing the best over the last just few years, but if you wanted to, you could add a 1 year or 2 year on this. Okay. This one also comes with a guaranteed income rider. So when the client wants to start withdrawing a guaranteed income, they'll pay an income for the rest of their life, no matter how long they live. So they'll never run out of money once they start withdrawing that money. And I would say that's very attractive to the client because a lot of seniors are afraid of outliving their money, right? So I would say just giving them that peace of mind will be amazing for them. And let me go ahead and add this file here on the chat so you guys can download it. Okay, so you can take a look at these. And let's just go to the illustration page and I'm going to show you an example. So we go back to the FNG's website and you're going to click on Sales Tools and click on Illustrations. Once you're in here, you're going to click the Annuity Illustrations. Explore. And we're going to go ahead and click Create Illustration on the top right corner. Create New Client. We're going to go ahead and name the client Your Client for illustration purposes. And we're going to do an age where it is going to be less than 75. I would say 50 is pretty good. So we'll just use an example with 50 since they have it already. And we're going to click next. And we said we're going to do a Hawaii. Next. Fixed index annuity. And the first product it shows is Performance Pro. So you don't have to do anything. You click Create Illustration. And product is Performance Pro and annuity type. So there's non-qualified and qualified. So non-qualified means that it's not a money that has been government qualified retirement plan, such as a 401k, IRA, traditional IRA, and things like that. So that'll be under qualified. The non-qualified is if the client has a money sitting in a checking or savings account right now, that will be considered a non-qualified fund. Okay. So depending on that, that's what we're choosing. And input premium, you can leave it as it is. And initial premium, this is the amount that the client is wanting to roll over or start the plan. So we're going to just show you at $1 million as an example. Allocations, you remember all the different investment options I showed you? There is Balance Asset by Barclays, BlackRock, Global Factor, Morgan Stanley. You remember talking about the Morgan Stanley performing the best right now in terms of the illustration? So Morgan Stanley, if you wanted to, as an example, put 1 year point to point, and let's just say 50%. And we can change this, by the way. Every year you get a chance, client gets a chance to change this allocation. So it's not like client is, locked into this and they can never change. It's not like that. So if you gave the client originally a certain allocation and investment diversification, but in next year it didn't perform that well, then you can switch it for the client. Or a client just prefers another one, then we can move it over into that one. But Morgan Stanley 1 year is pretty good, standard. And then 1 year point to point with cap, S&P 500, we can put 50. So let's just take a look at it, what this looks like, just diversifying 50-50.
Hey, Sean, is the max rollover 1 million?
You can do more than 1 million, Thomas, but when it's more than 1 million, they might need to see some other credentials as well.
Okay.
I think that it's more about just like a potential money laundering situation. So, yeah, but most of the time, if the client has enough income and it's suitable, like annuity suitability is okay, and they pass that, then they should be able to do more than 1 million.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, I've seen clients do over $5 million. So yeah, you can do that. Okay, and then click action and go preview illustration. Then it'll generate about 20 plus page illustration. And the name of the product is Performance Pro. And it's a fixed index annuity. That means it's fixed. It has a 0% bottom. The client can never lose money if the market crashes. And it's index. So you have different index options. This is different from a variable annuity. So if a client's like, oh, annuity, I heard it's not good. And because there's different types of annuities, by the way. So even just maybe 10 plus years ago, annuities used to have not much flexibility. You put in a lump sum of money, and if you're locked in for 10 years, if you try to take any money out, you were getting fees, you're getting penalized, and it didn't come with a lot of bells and whistles. So it was very limited. So that's one. That's why a lot of the older folks don't like that, because they have some maybe bad experience in the past with the old type of annuity. Number two is they might have had it in a variable annuity where variable annuity is offered by financial advisors with securities licenses, and those ones don't have a fixed floor. So the client can lose 20%, 30% if the market goes down. So they could have had a bad experience that way. And third way they could have a bad experience is the agent didn't know what they're doing and they just put them into a multi-year guaranteed annuity where they're getting only 2%, 3% a year. And that's the max they can ever get. And it's just guaranteed amount of that 2% or 3% locked in. It's not going to perform that well, right? 2%, 3% is not that high of an interest. So they might have seen money not grow that much. So those three reasons could be a reason why the client doesn't have a good kind of like a idea of annuities. But this one kind of addresses all that because one, with the Performance Pro and many of the fixed index annuities that we offer through FNG and Athene and American Equity and other companies, they have a 10% liquidity rider where you can take out 10% a year on your anniversary without any penalty. So if a client puts in $1 million and with a bonus it became 1.17 million, 1,170,000. And on the anniversary, let's just say it grew a little bit, so it's now at $1.2 million, and they want to take out 10%, that's $120,000 client can take out without any penalty. Before they didn't offer that in the past. So that gives liquidity to the client, 10% every year of the entire value every year on the anniversary. So that's big. And number two, our products are fixed index, so the client will never lose money even if the market crashes. So that gives them security. And three, this is not a fixed annuity. This is not a multi-year guaranteed annuity where it gives only 2% or 3% and that's locked in. So client still has the chance to get a higher return if the market does well because it's tied to the market. Okay, so that's what makes this really awesome. And here you can read some of the kind of like the highlights of the Performance Pro annuity. But one thing I would highlight is this one right here. Powerful bonus. It's one of industry's best. 17 bonus, not on the income base. It's different. Okay. Always check on that. If a client says, oh, they offer 30, 45% bonus, too good to be true. They'll go out of business if they do that. It is income based only. They cannot take out the money all at once. This is a genuinely putting a 17% bonus on the client's premium paid, and that is money later that client can all take out. And steady stream of live income. From the start, you know how much your income payments will be in the future. Your payments will never run out no matter how long you live, even if your account value is depleted. So why is that important? Annuities, which don't have a lifetime income rider, if the account is depleted because the client lived too long, then they no longer have an income. But a product like this that comes with a guaranteed lifetime income rider, that means even if the account was depleted because client lived up to 95 and all the money was depleted in the account, F&G will guarantee to still pay that income out to you for the rest of your life, even if you live up to 105 years old. So that's another great safety feature that you can give to your clients. So where would the conversation come up? You're talking to a mortgage protection client and you sold a mortgage protection plan. They want to protect their mortgage if something happens to them. And after that, you ask, hey, how was the service, John and Mary? Are you happy with your plan? They say yes. Oh, by the way, we are Symmetry Financial Group and we offer clients with other financial services. Are you 100% confident that you're going to have a great retirement, or do you have some doubts? Okay, you're throwing some questions out there. And if I can secure your retirement so that even if the market crashes, like in 2008 or 2002, if your retirement can be safe, would that be something that will benefit you? And you're just opening up some conversations. And if they're interested and you don't know what you're doing, then you have an SME, you can do an FIF reset and book a meeting with F5 Reset SME specialist who will take over and talk to the client and get them what they need. And if you do that, even if you don't know what an annuity is, just by you opening that door and passing it on to a expert, subject matter expert who's really well versed in the annuity, you'll get a 40% passive income for any policies that is written through that transaction. So that's a great way for you to earn extra income. I saw an example. There were agents who made extra like $60,000 last year just through doing the FIF resets and sending it to somebody that is a expert. Because if you try to do it yourself, you could try to learn it, but there's definitely a learning curve and it takes some time. And until you get really comfortable with it, I would say utilize somebody that is really well versed and knowledgeable so you don't lose that deal. 40% is better than zero every time. Okay. And leave your beneficiaries whatever account value remains in a lump sum payment. So if the client passes away, then the account value will be going to the family as a death benefit. So either you get it as an income or you leave it to your family. So these are the different investment options I already showed you. We diversify just two ways, Morgan Stanley 1 year and then S&P 500 1 year. You remember here, rider fee? It's only 0.1%. Financial advisors take anywhere from 1 to 3%. So imagine that. This is 1/10 of a 1%. Quite amazing. Premium bonus is 17%. And waiver of surrender charge, this means that for impairments, nursing homes, and terminal illness, these situations, client doesn't have to pay any fees and they can take out 100% of their money back. So if there was an emergency of impairment, they can't do 2 out of 6 activities of daily living. Nursing home, they need to go to a nursing home, or they have a terminal illness and they have 12 months or less to live, then they'll be able to take out all the money without any type of surrender fees, which is amazing too. So these are safety features already attached to these policies, so you don't have to worry about that. So in our scenario, it's $1 million initial rollover, non-qualified plan. And I'm gonna show you. You want to go to the current. You don't want to go to the guaranteed because guaranteed, remember, what is it? It's a 0% floor. So we don't want to look at that one. We want to look at the current rates because this is what the market has performed over the last 10 to 20 years. So take a look at this. If the client puts in $1 million here at age 50, how much does it become? 1.17 million. So if a client puts in the money and they see 1.17 right away, do you think clients will be happy? Yeah, probably they'll be very, very happy. And then with the interest that they're averaging over time, by the time client is 60, they'll have over $2 million in there based on the last 10 to 20 years of market performance. So it's doubling right there. And it's continued to grow over the lifetime for the client. And the beautiful thing about this is that let's just say client wants to take a little earlier retirement than maybe typical people just because the client has a large lump sum of 401k already. So by the time client is 60, right now the retirement age is becoming almost 70 because people don't have enough money to retire or the cost of living is too high. They have to go back to work at the age 70 or 80 years old. But let's just say, hypothetically, this client wants to retire at the age of 60. That there's about $2 million liquid client can take out. But on the right side, if you take a look at this, its income base is $2.2 million. So what is this? It's different numbers. Do you remember I told you about the income base? This is only able to be taken out as an income, not as a lump sum. That's why the figure is different. And they give you a 4.35% rate. So 4.35%, of 2.256 million is $98,163 a year. They can take that a year for the rest of their life, no matter how long they live, if they wanted to exercise the guaranteed income rider. On the left side, if you see the 2 million, this is something client can take out more than 98,000. They can take out, let's just say client wants to take out 6-7% of this. Then 6-7% of this will be 120 to $140,000 a year. And since it's compounding, client can take out for the rest of their life and they'll still not deplete the money. So they have a lot of options that they can exercise. So they have both options available. And if the client passes away unexpectedly, and let's just say by the time client is 70, died of a heart attack, then the death benefit is 3.5 million, which is the same amount as accumulation value. But if the client received income, then that amount gets taken out of this and the rest of it gets paid out to the family. Okay. Do you have any questions about this?
Hi, Sean. I have a question. How are you?
Yes. Good.
I
Yeah.
have a client that
Yeah.
last year I tried to invite her to go into F&G, but she ended up to be investing it with another agent through WFG.
Hmm.
So, how do you compare that with, of course, WFG uses Transamerica. So, how do you compare with the F&G product compared to Transamerica?
Yeah, it's hard to say just Transamerica versus FNG because FNG itself, they have about 30 annuity products, and Transamerica themselves have like 10 or 12 annuity products. So it's hard to say comparison, which one's better. But one thing though is overall looking at the fees and performance, and overall client satisfaction, I would say FNG is higher. So I would one thing though, Jericho, is that if the client already started with the other agent with Transamerica, annuities usually have surrender fees that is really big, and they might not able to move over the money for the next at least 2 to 5 years, if they already started with them.
I got it. I'll follow up within that time frame.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anna saying, when do they need to select the income or accumulation option at the beginning? No, they don't have to make any of those decisions until later when they want to start withdrawing income.
Oh, awesome. Is it like within a year, or it could be like I'm 60 and I want to start my income and I can do
Yeah.
it?
So, yeah, that's a good question. But as you can see, if they're too young, or if it's
Uh-huh.
too early on, the income base is not grown that much. You see that? Do you see the percentage grows over time the longer they have that they can withdraw as a guaranteed income? So I usually recommend if the client has some time, let it grow a little bit before start withdrawing income. But the answer is after the 1 year anniversary, client can start taking out up to 10% a year without any penalty. So client can start withdrawing income. It just wouldn't be as much if they waited a few more years, 5 years, 10 years, or let it to grow before they start taking out the money.
So is there a way, so if they started that 10%, like, and they did the accumulation and not the income, could you ever switch, or is the accumulation, that one's not guaranteed for life, correct?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
Okay, just the
accumulation is
income.
not guaranteed. This is just based on the market performance over the last 20 plus
Yeah.
years. Um, but client can decide to go to income base and start taking that money out. But if the client has already taken out money, then it won't be this figure because client already taken out some money. So that will be minus from this number before they pay out the guaranteed income.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions?
Sean, what would and I apologize if this was already covered, but I was a little late coming in.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
what would be the ideal age to start something like this? And when would it kind of be too late to get into it?
I mean, the great thing about this is that you can get it up to age 80 years old. But I would say because I would like for them to at least let it grow for 5 to 10 years before they grow it. So I'll say 75 is usually the kind of the age. But also remember, this is coming, usually it's a lump sum coming from another place. So if it's a non-qualified, it might be coming from like a savings or a checking account. Um, or it could be coming from their old employers, 401k or IRAs or 403bs, 457. So if it's already sitting there and not doing anything, then rolling it over here does not hurt them, So because their 401k or old 401k or IRA from their previous employer, it's not really properly being managed and it's kind of, collecting dust, then they can roll that over into this, take advantage of the bonus, also take advantage of the guaranteed income, which gives them more safety features than just letting the market ride. Because if the market crashes, they could lose 20, 30, 40% of their value, and that could affect their, income for the rest of their life.
Okay.
So yeah,
And
but
so in that case, you're saying it really doesn't matter what age
what
if it's
age
just
doesn't
sitting
matter.
there. I got you.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah, you're welcome. But one thing though, Lima, is that if the client is still working for that company, then you can't roll over that money. So if a client is working for that employer still and they have $100,000 in there and they love this product, they can roll it over because they're still working for that employer. An employer usually matches a contribution with them. So that is locked in with them until they either get fired or they, leave the job or they retire. Then that money becomes a free agent and then we can roll it over into something like this.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Thank
I,
you.
I got a quick question, Sean.
Yeah. Go
If,
ahead.
if somebody has like a 401k, and they're not paying any taxes until they take the money out. Now, if they flip it to this, will they have to pay taxes on all that, the whole amount that they flip, or only when they withdraw it, not when they take a loan out on it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the answer is if they were to, let's just say they're coming from like a 401k or an IRA, that's tax deferred. So Uncle Sam hasn't collected his taxes. When you roll over into this, it still remains in the same tax status. So they will not have to pay any taxes. It will just be rolled over as a tax deferred plan and they'll be able to accumulate the money. And when they start withdrawing the money, that money will just be taxed as an income tax.
What if it's what if they take it out as they can't take it out as a loan? They this is withdrawals. It's not like an IUL, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, this will be a withdrawal. And
Okay.
that withdrawal amount, so let's just say client wanted to take out $20,000 in a year. Then they didn't pay any taxes yet because it was tax deferred. But when they take out the 20,000, that 20,000 will be just added to your income tax amount, and you just have to pay the taxes on the income. So if your income was 50,000 outside of this extra 20,000 you withdraw from the annuity, that 20,000 gets added to the 50,000 and the client will be taxed on 70,000 income, if that makes sense.
Yes. Thank you.
But they're not paying like a capital gains tax or anything like that on that. So, okay. So if they don't take out the money, it still remains tax deferred and they're not taxed until they withdraw the money as an income
And
tax.
only on the amount that they take out, right?
Yeah, correct. The
And can
other
they take
remaining amount, it doesn't get taxed. Correct.
so when they take it out, do they have to say they want it so much every month, or can they just like each year just change it? Like maybe one year they take out 20, the next year they want to take out 50. Can they do that?
Yeah, so it depends on the way the client wants to do it. So if the client wants to take out a lump sum, they can do that from this figure right here in the account value here on this side. If the client wants to take out the guaranteed income rider that never runs out, then they'll be taking out the figure on this side. Now,
Okay.
this one is a fixed amount. It's not an amount where you can just take out, oh, $1 million or 300,000. This is a fixed amount versus this is on this side, you can take out as much as you want after the 10 years. If it's before the 10 years, you can take out 10% a year without penalty.
So that's the minimum they have to take out. Like where it says 1060 all the way over, they have to take out 98,000 if they sign up for the guarantee withdrawal payment.
Exactly. Yeah, that'll just pay out every year for the rest of their life.
Oh, wherever they sign up at, that's where it'll come out every year.
Yeah, so that's when, let's just say a client is ready to start the income, then we can go ahead and let FNG know, give them a call and set that up. And there's like a form you can sign, and then that income will pay out for the rest of their life, no matter how long they live. Or they can just fill out a form that is just like a random amount that the client wants to withdraw, then it'll be just a withdrawal amount from the account value.
And then when they withdraw a random amount, it would automatically change the guarantee withdrawal payment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? I think I see Maria here. If 18 years old got 20,000 gift from grandma, okay to start. Yes, they can, Maria. All right. If there's no other questions, you said what?
Hey, Sean, did you record this?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
It'll
and
be
you'll post
posted
it.
on yeah, it will be posted on the Kim Agency YouTube channel.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So this is an amazing product. And there's quite a lot of people who have an old 401k, old IRA, 403Bs kind of sitting in their accounts, and they're not doing much about it. They kind of forgot about it since they're working for a new employer. Those are lower hanging fruits. And
So,
instead of
Sean,
just
those
being like
quick,
on the neglected, you can roll that over for them. What do you say?
Sean, those you can't use your 401k at your current company. It has to be an abandoned 401k that you left at another company, right?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, there's if your 401k is set up a certain way, you could. Like there is it's just how your 401k is set up. And it's usually a smaller amount. Oh, I only know that because I was our 401k administrator.
Yeah, and it depends on the employer and the way it's set up. So usually what I recommend is have them talk to their current employer and talk about it, but 90% of the time, yeah, they're not going to allow them to move over the money just
It
because
will
a lot
be
of the people are contributing still.
it'll be called a in-service rollover. And
Hmm.
it'll either be set up that they can do it or they can't.
Yeah,
Like everyone in the company can do it or not.
yeah,
Sorry to jump
exactly.
in.
Yeah, it's not individual, it's by each company and their setup. So
But aren't those the ones that the company does not contribute to? Those are the ones that you can transfer over, right? Because if it's all employee paid.
yeah, so yeah, it depends on the situation. The best is to just ask the HR or whatever the administrator who deals with the 401k and retirement plans. That's the person you should ask because it's case by case, depending on who your employer is. So yeah, I'll recommend them to talk directly to them and they can figure that out if they can or not. But most of the time, if they're still contributing, most of them do not let you do it. Small percentage still let you do it. So, um,
And Sean,
but
if we had those questions, we could hit up you, we could hit up F&G, we can hit up the benefits coordinator, or like you said, the administrator of the plan, the clients.
yeah, FNG and we wouldn't know. You would talk to that employer's HR or administrator who works on that because it depends on which company you work for. They make the rules. Hey, you
Sure.
can roll it over or you can roll it over. So we wouldn't
Yeah.
know that, right? Yeah, it has to be specifically for that client's that proposed client's employer. So
Yeah, and I wasn't talking specifically about rolling over the 401k. I was just saying like general questions about this product. We could run it through you, and then you could say, "Hey, I don't know. Let's go to F&G or whatever," just
yeah,
so we can get.
yeah, for sure. And I'm pretty knowledgeable, but still, I don't know everything, right? So best is to FNG is really helpful. And I mean, when I call them, the sales desk for annuity, in 2 minutes they answer the phone. Very quick. So you can ask them questions and they'll give you the most accurate information since they're really well trained on that.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So I'm gonna stop this recording.